knight of the round, sworn defenders of all who oppress the nerd. Now, onto the round table. Listen to what they say, for their words will guide you.
It's another nerdy night as my roundtable joins me, Ben, the Ridiculous Riddick, in another E3 Impressions video. Guys, this is, I don't know, I think third, maybe the fourth one that we're doing. And I am excited to have the Nerdy Nights Network #1 fan with me today, Recruit.
#1, always and forever.
Yeah.
I'm here. I'm excited to be here too. Talking about video games, I've heard.
Video games are the main topic for discussion, but you know, every once in a while we can talk about other things, life, the universe, all things.
Yeah.
It's all on the table.
Maybe. If it comes up.
If it comes up. So, let me go ahead and start with your overall impressions of E3 as a whole. How do you think it was?
I think it was really good. I only really recall the past like 3 or so, and last year's, at least with Sony and stuff, was really crazy. It just brought stuff out. But then this one, it's probably more thought-provoking. There's more, especially with VR coming up, and then with the new consoles to support VR and better-looking stuff, new consoles. There's more stuff to talk about. It's not just, oh, did you see Final Fantasy VII's coming out in whenever.
Yeah.
And however many
sometime.
parts. Yeah, eventually. It's coming. Don't worry. It's coming. There's more stuff just to talk about at face value. Just more games that are interesting. Stuff's happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I can get behind that. Were you discouraged by how many games were shown that don't have a release date?
Actually, when I was going back yesterday and looking through a bunch of the stuff, there were a few things that I saw that I was like, man, the game's coming out in September. Man, the game's coming out November, December, January, February.
But a lot of the new things that were announced, like God of War, like Days Gone, obviously Death Stranding, which isn't that's not coming out until 2019.
Not even yet, probably.
Yeah.
That trailer.
Yeah.
The trailer's the game. There's just music videos now.
Yep.
Damn good.
Gears, I don't think had a release date. There were a lot of games with no release dates.
Gears has a release. Did they give a window at least?
I don't think so.
15.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Huh. I don't know.
But I guess I could be mistaken.
I think it's just the games I was already excited for. I saw that they had release dates, and that was cool. And then I just forgot the other stuff.
No, actually, Gears does have a release date, October 11th, 2016.
Ooh.
Oh, look at me go! Look at me go! I am smart. SMRT.
The important stuff, to me, got release dates.
Yeah.
What's weird is Resident Evil 7 came out of nowhere. Like, people know another Resident Evil's coming out.
Absolutely.
This was like the first time, not including Kitchen, and people didn't know. But that's January.
I know.
Unless they push it or anything. But they did give it a date. If they're going to bother giving it a date, I think it's at least around that window. Like within 2 months, at the very least.
Well, they also gave Uncharted 4 a date, and, you know, that got pushed
they
back.
They gave 9 a few dates. But,
See? So, I think it'll be... I do think it'll still be January 2016. I don't think they would give a release date that soon if they weren't...
At least...
You know, pretty sure that it was coming out then.
It's hard to tell because of the playable teaser-ness of the demo, and it being more of a representation of their idea, then it's not even going to be in the game.
Yeah.
So we have no idea how the game's coming along.
And I really love how they were like, and you can play the entire game in VR. As soon as he said that, I was like, nope. Nuh-uh.
That was cool, and that gives having your first big budget. It is optional, but that means it is also a game that can stand on its own without VR, which means it's probably a pretty good length, or it's got stuff. And then VR is just boom. You can play the whole thing in that, and it's getting a big name too. Resident Evil 7.
Yeah.
VR.
Mm-hmm. It's the biggest thing that I took away from E3 this year was the amount of support for VR. Every single press conference.
Did Microsoft give up on HoloLens, or did they just say, we're making VR?
Well, no. So HoloLens, I think HoloLens is still going on. I think HoloLens is less for gaming. It is
a consumer thing.
Right. So HoloLens doesn't, in my mind,
fit into that space.
Exactly.
They just showed it because it's cool technology last time.
It wasn't E3 last year, was it? I thought that was CES.
Might have been CES. I think I remember like a wood paneled floor and like a couch and a coffee table.
Yeah, I think it was CES.
Press conference. But yeah, that if it was CES, then definitely. It's weird that they're trying to pursue both, though.
No.
Connected.
I mean, Microsoft is the only company out there in the gaming world that is doing computers for just an average consumer as well as
computers, and then video game computers.
Yeah. So I mean, to me, it makes sense.
Yeah, I wonder if there's anything they benefited from in their pursuit of HoloLens that they could bring over to their unannounced VR thing.
Yeah. Who knows? Hopefully, that'd be really. That would be awesome.
Going back to Resident Evil 7.
Yes.
That game's coming out on Xbox One. I wonder what'll happen when they release their VR thing.
I don't.
Because they didn't announce Resident Evil 7 is PSVR only, and it's not PS4 only.
Right.
And it is PC probably too, so I wonder if it'll just be a.
So my whole
work.
My whole theory on what the Xbox VR is going to be is that it's just going. The Xbox is going to support Oculus. Like I don't think Xbox is making their own VR. I think they're.
Yeah, it could be. We spent everyone. We spent the last year making a VR port on the new Xbox Scorpio. Yeah, It's a port. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be fine.
Yeah. I think whatever happens will happen. And anyway, VR, the fact that it's coming back and it's looking good is good.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
And
I wish there were less VR experiences and more video games.
Yeah, I mean, so when I was looking into more of the VR stuff after they were announced, like I honestly thought that the Batman, the Rocksteady VR thing was going to be a 15-minute little bite-sized thing of
It seems
Batman.
like it's the detective mode stuff.
Well, and
as game.
It's content that's over an hour.
Well, that's good.
Which I think is great. And when it comes to VR, I don't think there's anything that I want to spend more than an hour at a time with VR on.
Headache stuff or just the total immersion is just kind of prolonged periods is kind of weird. Prolonged
periods is going to be kind of weird for me, and I I get very paranoid when I can't see my actual surroundings
Yeah.
for prolonged amounts of
I
time.
haven't tried it yet, so I don't know if anything is weird like that. I think I sit down and do stuff. However.
So I got to try out a few games with PlayStation VR at PSX last year, and it was life changing. I mean,
Master for life.
It's great. I mean, I was a supporter of VR before I tried it, but after I tried it, it was amazing.
You had facts to back up your support.
Exactly.
You had personal experience to add to that.
And the immersion is there, like, complete and totally there. I watched while I was waiting in line to try it out a girl playing. I forget which game she was playing. She was playing a shooter one with
Heist or something.
What?
Is
Yes, it was the heist game. So she had her move controllers in her hand. She was shooting, and you see a TV of what she sees while you're waiting in line. And it gets to the end of her demo, and you see a prompt that comes up that says, "All right, now put the gun on the table." And she walks up to the table, and she puts her move controller, and she drops it, and just it falls straight to the ground.
Yeah, no.
And it was just it was. I thought it was hilarious, and then I also saw people try to just walk away with it.
Do those have like Wii straps now because of that?
They had Wii straps. She just didn't. She didn't use
I wonder
it.
if they're just going through so many demos. They're just like, we don't care. Put it on if you think you're gonna drop it.
And then the first demo that I did, I didn't need a move controller at all. It was just my head. It was head game where I'm hitting soccer balls with my head.
Yeah.
But then I also played Eve Valkyrie.
I don't know much about that.
Oh my god. Space shooter. Just you know the game Eve Online.
Oh yeah. I specifically don't know much about Valkyrie.
Oh, so great. So much fun.
Is it the Star Wars VR game kind of that you would want? Just change the skin to Star Wars.
Yeah, they would need to change the skin to Star Wars, and I'd be a very happy person. But then, this is what I'm really liking, though, because you're seeing Rocksteady support VR. You're seeing EA
with their built-up series.
Yeah, with their built-up series, and we're seeing.
It's not the same game.
Yeah.
But it's not just the literal same games with a VR thing. Mm-hmm. It's not a VR remaster of the Arkham games.
Exactly. Thank God. Talk about a game that would make me incredibly dizzy playing.
You'd have those little stars over your head like those thugs.
And then I love that EA is supporting VR with a X-Wing mission in Battlefront.
Mission and experience are the wary parts of stuff like that.
So I envision that it's going to be a mission like any of the other missions in the game.
Yeah. The actual missions that are like the single player.
Right.
Yeah. Which I like those.
Exactly, and
but they were good.
What I see this being is, we already know Battlefront 2 is coming.
Yeah.
What I see this as is let's test out and see what we can do with VR. And so when Battlefront 2 comes out, we could have just a VR game mode, or a VR option for Galactic Conquest.
They did. Now that I'm like. Because I remember when I played that game for like the 3 days I played it to platinum it. But
did I ever tell you I finally platinumed that game?
You did, I think. Because they went after the 17th patch.
Yeah.
They got it.
They fixed that damn trophy.
I got that in my second match of the game mode, and I was just done. I was, and that ended up being the one that glitched. But it did have the first-person, third-person option.
Mm-hmm.
And there was no thing in like game mode lobbies or anything that was like, I only want to play with people. It is the keyboard or gamepad thing.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if there will be a first person, third person, VR. And I am playing the game in multiplayer and stuff. I'm just using VR as another mode of, like, camera.
Look, that's my cat.
That is your cat.
Right
He was
there.
hanging out. He's spinning in circles before.
Was he? Oh, yeah. Right there.
He sees you. He sees
Stupid
me.
little
He's like,
shit. No,
Hey, sup?
he just hears me saying cat. Um,
VR headset on that cat.
oh, dude. Trust me, there will be a picture of a VR headset on my cat or on my dog as soon as I get it.
You can fit it on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So let's go ahead and move on. So you saw the major press conferences, right? You saw EA, Bethesda,
It
Ubisoft.
scrubbed through the parts where it was kind of gross to watch. It's
Okay.
like, I don't like this. But
Uh-huh.
that's not. I saw the majority of all of them. I
Okay.
saw through EA and Sony.
So, which
And
conference, which company do you think won E3?
I'm pretty biased because it's the only thing I really care about or
Uh-huh.
have. But I don't have PS4 right now or Vita. But they didn't mention Vita once.
No. No, they did
even-
not.
They didn't even have their indie showcase where they say, on PS4, PS3, and Vita. It's on Vita. Vita.
That was one of my favorite things about watching the kind of funny predictions. Is Greg Miller saying, and Vita will not be mentioned more than 3 times in the conference, and you're right, wasn't even mentioned once.
You don't even have to put the caveat of as crossplay.
Yeah.
It's not at all. I think that's just because they didn't have an indie showcase thing. But
Yeah.
if you can tell from what I'm talking about, Vita and stuff, I think PlayStation.
Yeah.
I think Microsoft did a good job to come out with their console revision.
Mhm.
It's not the big next up one, but it is the smaller one, and apparently it has slightly better processing power.
Yeah.
It can play 4K discs.
Right.
It can't play 4K games yet.
Right. That's going to be all the Scorpio.
Yeah, because that would be generating stuff in
Mhm.
4K, whereas that is just reading it.
Hmm.
But that's still cool, and they're still going to look slightly better, apparently, and just run better.
Yeah.
Games running and looking better, always good. And the
Abs-
price, $299 to start out.
$299.
That's good. What's the current Xbox One?
The current Xbox One, I think, is at $349.
That's ridiculous. That it's smaller, better, same hard drive. If you're correct about the $349.
I'm double checking right now. I think that, but that's how the 360 Slim was also.
Was it better too, though, or just smaller?
It was better too.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, the Xbox One on Amazon, you can get the Xbox One 500 gig console Name Your Game bundle for $279.
Okay, that is a fine difference. We're
Yeah.
getting a better console, smaller. You don't get a game with it, but you probably get. Do you get the new controller? Maybe. Consoles usually have controllers.
Yeah, you get a controller, but not the Elite controller.
Didn't they announce a new vanilla controller?
Yes.
Like a new base. Okay. I would think they would give you that one, so that everyone from now on will start with those.
What I love is that so for $299 you get the 500 gig console, but if you want to spend an extra $300, you get a 2 terabyte console.
An extra 300.
No, an extra 100.
Oh, I thought you said 300.
Nope.
Okay, yeah.
For 300 you get the base console. For 400 you get 2 terabytes.
I'd say you might as well just do that. Like that is probably better.
I mean, when I was talking to Shiny about it, he brought up a good point. The Xbox, you have the ability to just plug in an external hard drive and use that. So
$100, like you could probably get. I don't know if the prices. You could probably get something comparative to that in that
Yeah.
price range to make up for that as an external.
mhm.
But I think Microsoft did a good enough job for me, who is I guess Sony fanboy, but they made me think when I saw that price, huh, you know, I might get that.
Yeah, and
I think that's good enough.
that comment for me right there, I have a lot of friends who are saying that kind of thing where it's like, oh, huh. So it's got me thinking that, oh my god, this Recore bundle. Oh my god, I must have this.
What is it? Is it a Recore console?
No. It's Recore with I'll send it to you so you can see it.
Okay.
And I'll put it in the YouTube description right down there. So
E3 impressions and Amazon shopping list.
hell yeah.
I
So
think it's a good thing of them because when you're looking, Amazon $279 was it for the Xbox One
Yeah.
thing? It not only because that also shows people that now the Xbox One is cheaper.
yeah,
Not just the S.
right.
Because I didn't know what the pricing of the Xbox One was. And now I do know not only like the vanilla Xbox One is cheaper, but the S is the new one that they were just talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they did a good job all of that, and then Dead Rising 4, Gears of War 4. God, I hate God of War, Gears of War. Oh, they had 1, 2, 3. They had the prequel, and then now they have main character comes back with a beard and a son.
Yeah.
It's just they can't, and even son going back home. It's at the end of the Gears of War 4 one. Son going back home. Bearded father, old man comes out of the shadows. Like, almost beat by beat, they are just the same series.
Uh-huh.
It's so ridiculous. It's hilarious, but oh.
No, I'm stoked about both of them. I've never been a huge Gears fan. But
It is a good shooter.
And the fact that I knew that it played well.
I'd say
The fact that they're getting voice talent like Laura Bailey.
Risei Kujikawa.
Um,
Someone said that was the Chie voice actor. I was like,
no.
motherfucker.
I forget her actual name though. The Chie voice
Laura-
actor.
Oh, Aaron Fitzgerald.
Aaron
Okay.
Fitzgerald. Yep.
I looked. That's the new one.
Right.
The one who replaced him P4G.
And
I could be totally wrong. Let's just go with that.
anyways, so the fact that they're getting voice talent like Laura Bailey, someone who could
I think
legitimately
He was already in it.
what?
Or he was in Judgment or something.
Was she?
Like she already played a character.
Jesus Christ, why didn't I play Judgment?
I don't know. I like her voice though.
Yeah, and I mean, to me, I feel that she can choose what games that
She can
she's
pick and
in.
choose.
So that just tells me that the actual story for Gears is maybe interesting again. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That I don't know. The Gears story is also kind of interesting, or has always been kind of interesting to me just from afar. I played 3.
Uh-huh.
I played some of 2 because I started the last generation with an Xbox only. Halfway through, I went to PS3, or like partway through with Uncharted 2, and then just stuck through it.
Yeah, that's essentially exactly what I did.
Yeah, and I never played multiplayer. I had Xbox Live Gold just for Titanfall.
Mhm.
I think I maybe played some Halo,
Yeah.
Halo Reach, but yeah, that game. Just I love time skips. I like anime and stuff. Time skips, getting into Gears of War. The DMC4, the Devil May Cry 4 thing of old protagonist still there. You're not fighting him, but he's a part of the story. And
Right.
he's super cool still, and you know him because you played the other games. Now, hopefully, the new protagonist needs to be good too. Otherwise, it just is like, why am I not playing as Marcus?
Yeah.
Why do I have to have this little kid?
Oh yeah, she was in Gears of War.
Yeah.
Alex
In
Brand.
general. Gears of War.
Well, Gears of War Judgment.
Okay.
So.
And then Bethesda Prey is kind of interesting. Are we just going to talk about the conferences in general? Just go down.
Yeah, I mean, this portion is up to you. However you want to talk about it.
Just Bethesda with Prey, Dishonored 2. Basically all they had that interested me. They didn't do too many announcements. Fallout 4 VR. Oh, that's a Resident Evil 7 kind of thing. A big game supporting VR.
Yeah, I mean, the game barely runs without VR, so I don't know how great that'll be.
That's probably a Neo Scorpio thing.
Mm.
That is going to be where that works the best. But Skyrim HD remaster. It's so weird.
Yeah. I'm super excited about it, though.
Yeah, and it actually looks like, I'm glad they showed the little wipes, the star wipes, the beautiful wipes, to compare the two. I didn't look too much in detail, and it was over a stream, so I probably even lost some of that in translation. But yeah, I played that game forever ago, and I played Fallout New Vegas just recently, and I think I'm ready to go back to Skyrim. I never played the DLCs either, so...
I never got to play the DLCs for Skyrim.
I think I will enjoy throwing 120 hours at that, just willy-nilly.
I got screwed out of one of the trophies in it.
Thieves Guild?
No.
Whoa, I had to restart a whole game just to get that trophy.
See, I had put in, I want to say, like, 200 hours into the game before I fucking realized what I did.
Was it a glitch, or was it you screwed yourself?
So...
Because mine was a glitch that just sucked.
Yeah, mine wasn't a real glitch. It was... I accidentally... I was trying to find someone in the woods to give me a quest.
Yeah, just where you would go to get a quest, in the woods.
Yeah, and
yeah.
When I ran into him...
If a quest giver is in the woods and no one's around to take the quest, is he actually there?
Right. It was collect 15 Daedric artifacts. And this was a quest to get a Daedric artifact, and in that area there were a bunch of Daedra to kill before I could get the quest. Yeah. And I must have accidentally hit the guy that gives the quest, because he went on a rampage and tried to kill me, so I had to kill him.
It was self-defense. You should have called Sony and been, it was self-defense, give me my trophy.
And after that it was... I couldn't get that artifact because he was dead, and there was no other way for me to go get it.
The freedom that those games give you is also... It's a double-edged sword.
Yep.
It can hurt you so bad, especially if you're in trophies and completionists.
Yep.
Then it's really not fun when you have to go through the game looking at guides every 5 seconds. Did I fuck this up? Did I fuck this up?
And it's like, typically what I do is I just look at a guide to know which trophies are the missable ones.
Yeah. I always forget because I get too absorbed in stuff.
And I knew that was a missable trophy. So I was like, okay, I need to be careful. And then that happened, and I was like, well, I'm done. It was legitimately, once I did that, I was like, no, I'm not playing this game anymore. And that was where I stopped.
Thank you very much.
So, it was...
Actually, the copy of the game you got was the Daedric artifact. Trolling you, and then you finally broke the curse.
Yep. I guess.
You completed that quest. You gave him the Daedric artifact by stopping.
By killing him. By
saying... him, put his soul into the disc, and then everything was right. And now you get to do that again. in HD.
Yeah, that I'm super stoked about that. I mean, it's
I'm glad it's not just texture upping, like physics models and stuff apparently are changing. It looks like they actually remodeled stuff, not just retextured.
mhm.
And that game looked good in its time. Looked better than the Fallout games because it actually had color and stuff going on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that'll be fun. The Fallout stuff they announced, I don't care. Fallout Shelter, I don't play that. But it seems like what they're doing to support those games is fine. Like they're doing good.
Mhm.
Elder Scrolls Online, I don't care.
Yeah.
There's that one lady in the
the woo girl.
I heard somewhere that was Jessica Negri.
Oh, really?
Just going nuts. I don't have any facts to back this up, but apparently she's just known for acting a fool.
That would be pretty fantastic. That would make me kind of happy.
But whoever that was, thank you. You made the portion real fun while I was playing Resident Evil 6. But okay, Dishonored 2 and Prey. Prey, we don't know what that is, but Groundhog Day, space, not space, future, dystopia, not dystopia.
Dude, I think Prey looks like a game.
It's kind of weird because I don't like the stilted first-person perspective where you can tell it's super pre-rendered, but because it's like an Uncanny Valley thing.
Right.
Because it's pre-rendered, it looks worse than if it had been actual gameplay.
Uh-huh.
But the shadowy, kind of misty figure is a cool thing. I don't know anything about the first Prey. It's weird that they're going from Prey, the sequel, or the reboot is Prey, because Prey 2 was canceled.
Mm.
And I think I still would have rather had Prey 2 back then. But Prey 2, if it had come out now, would be littered with a bunch of other open-world parkour games.
Yeah.
Then that game was crazy and awesome, and the style would have held up probably, how it looked. But the gameplay would have been first-person stuff. But that could be cool. We don't even know really what that is. I liked it more before the guy came out after talking about it, explaining the story.
Uh-huh.
Like, you're the dude who's being experimented on. It's like, I don't want experiments. I want, do you even know if anything going on in your head is happening?
Yeah.
Are you crazy? But it does seem like it's more medical thing, because he goes and checks the eye, and even though it's the same day, I think they might be trying to pull trying to shuck and jive and like convince you that it's a Groundhog Day thing.
Right.
But it's actually just like a rat maze kind of thing where he's being observed and being put through the same day. But he knows it's not actually the same day.
Mm-hmm.
The scientists watching over him are setting it up so that the alarm says the same thing every day.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, how would the physical effects on his body carry over between days? And it did seem like there was a psychological element when he picks up the coffee cup on like the third time through.
Mm-hmm.
And then I couldn't tell if it was a reflection in the table, or if it was an actual coffee cup just spinning like fucking mad. But it didn't seem like there was no gravity stuff going on. It seemed like that was actually just mind playing tricks on him. I like and don't like the design of like his suit, because it looks like Future from like the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Like a tracksuit-ish kind of unitard-ish thing that also is like puffy, like a puffy winter jacket.
Right.
And then I don't know. I like trailers that are more cinematic with like themes, and the Good Morning Morgan thing was actually pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Where I don't know. Hopefully the game itself is neat. I got Doom 3 vibes.
Yeah,
yeah.
I agree.
Especially the shotgun. Shotgun looks Doom-ish to me. Old, pump action, very circular.
Which, yeah, I find to be pretty expected, I think is what I want to say.
What's that studio? Who's making it?
The Prey one?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
I don't think it's the guys who were making Prey 2. I thought they got...
No. It's... They had announced two games in that press conference.
At the end of that trailer, an
Arcane Studios.
It is.
Yeah.
They're also making Dishonored.
Yeah.
Are they just Bethesda, the studio? The second studio of Bethesda now?
So, Arcane Austin is doing Prey.
I think it could be cool, because Dishonored 1 had some mystical, kind of cool elements that are Prey-ish. From what I do know about Prey, it was mystical-ish.
Mm-hmm.
But Dishonored 2 looks like it'll still have that. And if they can
do
that, but make it more psychological in Prey...
Arcane Austin is doing Prey, and Arcane Leon France is doing Dishonored.
Okay. Yeah. Prey could be cool. We don't know much about it yet.
Mm-hmm.
I do think it's funny that it's Prey. Same game name, completely different.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I don't know. I want more good video games coming out, especially if they're horror or in space or psychological.
Mm-hmm.
Dishonored 2. I didn't look at much of the gameplay. If they showed much of it, they probably did.
Yeah.
Because I already know Dishonored is good.
Absolutely.
I enjoy Dishonored a lot. It's very fun. They made platforming and going around doing assassin sneaky stuff really fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's mainly just because of Blink. The Blink ability was super fun in that game, and the melee combat, the combat was good.
I never played it, and now I really want to play it. Do you think it'd be a game I like?
It was a free PS Plus game a while ago.
What?
It was a free PS Plus game a while ago, so you might have it.
No. I don't think I do.
I think it was this year. I think it was pretty recent.
But why wouldn't I have...
You might want to check that out.
Oh, was it PS Plus for PS3?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I don't have PS3.
Darn, you don't. But they did do a cool thing where if you had I didn't take advantage of it, but if you had Dishonored, like a digital copy or whatever, they would give you a discount on the PS4 version. So you could have downloaded that on PS3 and then got a discount, or you can just wait for a sale. It'll probably come up on a sale between now and Dishonored 2.
Yeah, and Dishonored 2 had one of those deals where if you pre-ordered it on your system, you got a digital copy of Dishonored 1.
Would that be the new version?
I would imagine.
Because it would have to be on your console.
Yeah.
Pre-ordered on. They did the same thing with South Park, but that's the Ubisoft thing, which is good. I haven't played Stick of Truth yet. I don't know if I will.
The codes will be packed in the game, though.
Physical codes. Ew.
Yeah.
Ewy.
When does the game come out? November 11th?
That's what I was going to ask next.
Yeah.
It's June-ish. It is before the end of the year, so I'm excited.
Yeah, I agree.
And Persona's not around there anymore, so everyone else has a chance to make money. Me not just buying 20 copies of Persona 5.
Yeah. I agree with that.
I'm great.
All right. So let's go ahead and move on. What is your most anticipated game that was shown at the conferences this year?
I think we still need to go over the other conferences quick, but...
Oh, sorry. We did Bethesda, we did Microsoft and Sony, so we have Ubisoft.
PlayStation. That's not the company. Wait, didn't they change their name recently?
Who?
Sony. Didn't they go from Sony Computer Entertainment to something else now?
I think it's still Sony Computer Entertainment. Or Sony... SIE. Sony...
International? Or something? I don't know.
Or SEI. Sony Entertainment... Fuck, I don't even know.
Because I thought they were going for a rebranding thing. I don't know. But Ubisoft.
Yes.
Oh man, Ubisoft. Oh, press conferences. Ooh.
You weren't a fan of the Ubisoft one, it sounds like.
Just like, is it Aisha Tyler, the host?
Uh-huh.
I kind of actually did like that, her opening bit.
I love Aisha Tyler hosting the Ubisoft events.
It seemed like, I heard, a good thing I heard was, it seems like she's comfortable now.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't feel out of place, business exec, trying to act like, hello, fellow kids, I am also a kid, child. How do you do? It seems like that is just the way she acts and talks when she's hosting it.
Uh-huh.
When she randomly threw out an F-bomb at the beginning,
Yeah.
trying to hype everybody up. I don't know. It was cringe, but it made me giggle instead of just flat like I don't want to be here.
See, I think that's why the Sony press conference was so good for you, because no one really came out and talked.
It's straight business. Dude.
Yeah, it was just like,
I do.
here are the
Sean
trailers.
Layden is the guy?
What?
Sean, like the
Sean Layden?
president, whatever. Sean Layden. Okay, I like him. I missed the Kevin Butler stuff where they had the fake CEO of departments that don't exist.
Yep.
Yeah, it was fun, but it's also fake. And then he made bad decisions. Got kicked out. It sucked. It wasn't even like drugs or illegal stuff. He just did a Nintendo thing. He appeared in a Nintendo ad and then done. They had the South Park stuff, which, yeah, I just don't like people coming out and talking about their games, even if it's people that are funny sometimes or are comedic actors and writers. It's still kind of gross because it's like someone's trying to be friends with me, but also like take my money. It's like, hey, give me some money. Hey, I'm a really good friend. I'm gonna give me some money. I'll hook you up with games, man. I'll hook you up. But yeah, press conference is still kind of gross. South Park, I did like their kind of Marvel. It's weird that they can just come out and just say the names of stuff, of branded stuff. Like they said, DC Comics, Marvel, Netflix, Flash, Superman. Like they were saying names that they had to pay for. They had a license.
Yeah.
But it's still, I heard good things about Stick of Truth, and it mainly seems like it comes down to, do you like South Park? You will like this game, and then if you also like RPGs like this, it's double.
I think the RPG aspect is more important because Mike, one of the co-hosts on Nerdy Nights, he is not a South Park fan, but he loves Stick of Truth. Is he not
a South Park fan, or does he just not care about it? Is he against it, or just middle?
He just doesn't care.
Okay, then yeah, if he likes those elements, the mechanics of the actual gameplay, and then gets a laugh every once in a while.
Yeah. Which is what makes me think, maybe I should actually sit down and play this game, I guess.
I don't. It is on sale right now on PlayStation for under $20, but more than $10, I think. I didn't want to get it because I don't know if I like South Park that much. There are some jokes that aren't from South Park because it's a video game. They make jokes, Deadpool-esque fourth wall breaking jokes about it being a video game. But I looked at the trophy list and I was like, this is too much. It wasn't hard or anything. It's just like missable.
Right.
Lots of quests and stuff, but whenever I'd see little clips of it, it looked like it played well enough, like actually good. And I heard it was good. The fake over-enthusiastic, really clean language gamer boy and then random girl chat things in press conferences in general. I don't think there was a girl in the Wildlands one, but Wildlands and Siege are just gross. Like, not only do I don't like people coming out and telling me to buy their product. I don't like people acting like they are enthusiastic about playing this game.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, this is not like when you and me would play Destiny or another game. We get excited about stuff, but we are not very clean. I imagine them just sitting straight up like this at all times, bug-eyed, always remembering to wear their smile.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because they're so afraid to... Real talk between people would have some negative mixed in with positive. It would not just be singing the praises or being strictly tactical.
Uh-huh.
And then random bits of jargon and, like, good job, bro. It's so... You can tell it's so written is the issue.
Right.
If it was those same people and they were just naturally having a conversation that happened... It's like when someone goes in a booth and doesn't follow the exact script, but then gets into character. So a similar performance, but it comes off better because it's not wooden.
Right.
Yeah. And then For Honor looks cool. I like melee combat. Have they shown any ranged combat of that?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So there was an arrow shot in the trailer. I did like the cinematic trailer of, like, just these 3 juggernaut guys that represent each nation fighting over the water. And then eventually... I don't know. I thought it was a well-made one. They had peace the first time, but because it was right after, I didn't know there was a natural disaster thing to that. I thought it was just them fighting, not we are forced to fight because shit went bad, man. And I did like the idea of, it seems like it is eventually going to be us teaming up.
Mm-hmm.
It's Civil War.
Yeah.
It's just, we're going to eventually team up to fight the bad guy, Apollyon.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But that was cool because I don't want to get too much into analysis of a trailer in terms of, like, cinema presentation. But they had the 3 characters of representing each thing fighting. And then the one in the shadows the whole time, revealed at the end of the trailer, was the one making them fight forever.
Mm-hmm.
I bring war and all that stuff. And I like that. That it was like... I don't know. I thought it was a good little reveal for a short trailer. Of, like, these guys were fighting out of desperation. Then they forgot why. Because that person's the one giving them reasons. And then the general gameplay and stuff seems solid. I need to play it. It seems rock, paper, scissory, but also skill-based, not completely, like, luck. Like, you can actually see based on their stance where they're blocking. Then you have to attack there or attack somewhere else. And it seems like it's very... If you mess up, you're dead.
Mm-hmm.
So, and also, I heard comparisons to Dynasty Warriors, which is... There are a bunch of really weak guys that you kill in, like, one hit. Then there are the generals, or the important dudes, or actual players that are serious. You have to deal with them.
Right.
But unlike Dynasty Warriors, there are all these cool, really well animated, like, specific kill animations for each of the little weaklings, which I like. I'd like to know if the different classes will play differently, or if they just look different. Like, if one's faster, stronger, but slower, more armored, but slower too. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But it could be cool. Grow Up. I liked Grow Home. That was a really, really good PS Plus game. Like, short, but a really fun experience. And then it was also like a tech demo-y kind of thing. Which, now that there's a sequel, I think it should look less jank. Like, it looks... Like, when he's walking still, there's still, like, I know I'm gonna fall off a thing that I shouldn't have fallen off a few times in that game, too. But they have new stuff. I couldn't remember exactly what was in the original, but they were showing off that was new. I know the ball form. And it seemed like it's an entire planet this time, and not just a flat landscape that you go up.
Right.
So just more Grow Home, which might actually be a bad thing if they don't add enough to make it to give it variety. That game was like the perfect length. It's like less than 10 hours, you can do everything. And it was fun, cutesy the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Watch Dogs 2, I'm kind of torn because it seems like it's going to have a personality now that isn't super grimdark.
I feel like Watch Dogs 2 is going to be the Assassin's Creed 2 of Watch Dogs. You know,
it could be, yeah. It could read like the first one was, and people were saying that when Watch Dogs came out, like that they could really nail this with another one,
right?
And like hit it out of the park. But I'm kind of torn between the tones because I like that it's not just grimdark.
Mm-hmm.
Because grimdark can be good, but it wasn't very good in the first one, and
right.
variety is good. So if they had done grimdark but better, I think it would have been worse than if they try something new and did it better.
Mm-hmm.
But the tone they're going for is very like and like skateboarding and very dude bro. It's not how I imagine hackers to be. It's what I imagine a corporate image of hackers to be.
Yeah.
A very image-friendly hacker stereotype. But I also did like that the trailer just showed you what I imagine hackers to actually be like, which is just fucking with people for no real reason.
Yep.
Which is just like, and it's the trailer had very GTA 5 vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Especially at the beginning, and then the part with the smart car, which is like satire and like showing kind of real people. And then this dude just running around fucking everyone for no real reason. And we don't really know anything about that character, do we? We know that's the main character, the guy in the trailer.
Right.
He's black, so he's a better character already, right?
Yep. Gotta love it.
But I don't know, just the way this kind of stuff he does in that trailer, if his dialogue is good, I could be into that. Just I'd like it if all the missions were just really inane stuff. Like there was no central story arc. It is just let's do this, I guess. Let's hack this. Let's fuck with that.
Yeah.
Let's break that.
Yep.
I think the guns part is where that tone kind of breaks down. Because you go from, like, whimsical kind of, like, messing with people to straight murdering people. You are killing people with machine guns.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of weird. It doesn't seem like something that character from the rest of the trailer would be doing.
Right.
Which was another thing people had problems with in Watch Dogs was in the story mode, you're like, oh, 2 people died in my life. I'm so sad. I'm gonna murder 500 people and then continue the story. 500 millions, and then act still brooding and dark.
Yep. This is true. This is how games work now.
Yeah, it's video games.
He's like Nathan Drake if he were darker.
I haven't played Uncharted 4 yet. I'm very excited for that game. EA now, which, oh man, this is basically the Titanfall 2 press conference. Even though Titanfall 2 was there for about 15 minutes, maybe 10, maybe less, because they just showed the 2 trailers.
I was gonna say I don't even think it was 10 minutes.
Yeah, dude, is it Vince Zampella? Is the dude?
Mm-hmm.
Got kicked out of Infinity Ward or whatever years back, and then they made Respawn, which was kind of weird because he said, was it the smooth? He basically said, "We've always delivered really good gameplay."
Mm-hmm.
It's like, your studio has made one game, but I know what you're talking about. I know what you're actually talking about.
Right.
You're talking about other games that aren't called Titanfall. But Titanfall 2, if they're going to add... I was fine with Titanfall, and I just really enjoyed it. I thought it was really solid what was there.
Right.
Lack of a single player didn't deter me too much. But that amazing... like really fun gameplay and parkour and stuff in a single player, you could have so much cooler set pieces.
Absolutely. And
when you break it down, Call of Duty is basically vehicle sequence or stuff is happening while you are walking on the ground.
Right.
This one is fucking mechs. sprinting on walls, double jumps and jetpacks,
Yep.
grappling hooks. Did you notice basically every game has a grappling hook now?
Yeah, it's
Trials has a grappling hook. Trials of the Blood Dragon has a grappling hook. I didn't talk about that, but that seemed kind of Watch Dogs 2-ish. That is a Blood Dragon kind of thing. Where there's a specific. It was an Xbox 360 launch game. That was a snowboarding game. That I feel like someone who made that trailer played that game, and you should look it up. Can't remember what it's called, but it had a lot of fourth wall breaking, weird, twisted pixel-esque, like live action stuff, and like a bunch of different art styles clashing. But I don't think I'm gonna play that because I haven't played Trials in forever.
Yeah.
But for people who do, that's just more crazy stuff that you can make. You could probably use level creators even more.
Right.
Make even crazier stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But Titanfall 2, the single player especially, it's not even like it is Titanfall 2. It's like, yeah, they improved the multiplayer, and then I guess it has single player. It's like, I'm equally excited for the single player and the multiplayer. Because Robot Titan with emotion.
Yeah.
That part where you drop down and he grabs him and says, "Protected the pilot." That was, yeah. I can see.
No,
see
Titanfall 2.
That robot.
Titanfall 2 looks incredibly exciting, and what's even better is
When
that
he dies at the end, I will feel really shit. When he sacrifices himself and just like shoots, he just like pushes me into an escape pod, and I gotta go, and I'm just crying with my Call of Duty protagonist. I think it sounded like Yuri Lowenthal was the one doing the voice. I don't know. His voice wasn't gruff, big, tough military man, so I automatically care about him more, especially if he's going to be with the Titan with emotions.
Yeah.
And the multiplayer looks awesome. You're going to have customizable Titans, like...
Yeah, I mean...
Not just loadout.
What you're saying is what's really exciting to me. It's not so much a dude bro character. Like, in too many of these games...
a movie around Iron Giant.
Right.
Like, around that time period.
Mm-hmm.
You could see that being a movie where it's like very sad, melodramatic, military stuff going on, but then you have these two friends bonding. And I think... Did you play The Fall?
No, I did not.
The Fall... It's funny, it has Fall in the title. The Fall is about a robot suit. You play as the robot. It's like an exoskeleton. You play as the exoskeleton, and your pilot is asleep inside of you, or he's like knocked out in danger because you like crash landed, and you play as the suit trying to protect your pilot.
Huh.
You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
But this one is a mutual relationship, and The Fall is really cool. Adventure-y type of game. I didn't play it myself, but I've seen lots of stuff, and it looked really cool. And story-wise, that game seems awesome. Dialogue and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of robot AI. If you like AIs talking to AIs about, like, rules of robotics and stuff, like, you're not allowed to hurt human beings, and I have to break my rules, but it's to save my pilot. And if I don't save my pilot, that's breaking another rule.
Yeah.
Lots of cool stuff like that. I don't think that'll be the kind of tone that this is going for. I think it'll still be action.
Uh-huh.
I think it'll be more of a, not buddy cop, but like a friend movie. Especially with how he throws you.
Oh, yeah.
If you could control it and make him, like... If you got into him like a catapult and then could aim where you wanted to throw you in multiplayer or something...
That'd be really awesome.
Dude, so many layers. And then you can stop in midair, apparently, now, with the grappling hook. And the grappling hook doesn't seem like it is a Batman shoot and then a launch. It is a momentum-carrying thing.
Right.
And you can aim and stop, like in Destiny.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm stoked
Everything
about
that. Everything they showed, the trailer was really, it was fun, and it showed what you wanted to see. Especially ending with the midair eject into grappling hook kick.
Yep.
Best way you can have a trailer.
Uh-huh. No,
It seems like they're doing a really good job multiplayer and single player with that.
Mm-hmm.
And Titans with swords, man.
You gotta love Titans with swords.
Anime, dude. It's coming. It's coming to America. Not Summer Lesson, though. Just robots. And then I really hope you can... Because you could have a bunch of unlockable voices. They released a bunch of those for the original Titanfall.
Right.
They're probably going to have that again.
I would imagine.
Or might carry over those exact same things and add new lines wherever applicable. I really hope there is some fun, customizable stuff, like Overwatch kind of, which I'm also super excited to play that. There needs to just be variety. I need to be able to look at my mech and go, that's my mech. That's my buddy. It's my boy. It's my Iron Giant.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, because he was talking big game of we have the deep customization and progression that you guys wanted. And they haven't even shown off new weapons, really. There's stuff like the smart pistol was a really cool idea in the first game. It would just auto-lock, and then you just pull the trigger and go. So it's not even like it was just a normal shooter, even down to the guns. And then anti-Titan weapon, there's so much they could do in that game. And just more really cool getting into your Titan animations. Like sliding under the Titan, getting picked up, put inside.
Yeah, no, it's going to be really cool. I'm gonna move you on a little bit because we are running a little long. Mass Effect.
Yeah, it was kind of there.
It was kind of there.
I would rather have had... Yeah, there was no Dead Space, sadly. There was the Star Wars game for 5 seconds and the Mass Effect game for 5 seconds. Did they show any gameplay? They showed some in-engine stuff.
No, they did not show it.
Or whatever.
I don't think they showed any gameplay at all.
Yeah.
I'm just so excited about Mass Effect.
I'm not really.
It's my number one favorite franchise in video games. So
I like it, but I also don't care at all. I don't know why. I think I should, but I just don't. It's not even some people got gypped by the end of 3.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed playing through all 3 of those games. And it's not even I feel like I have closure and I don't want to go back. It's just they haven't shown me anything about Andromeda that would make me not think this is just a cash grab using a series. And then they're just going to... It doesn't look like it's anything but going through the motions right now.
Yeah, I get that for sure.
And similar to Battlefield 1, which they showed, is there's all that crappy hashtag rip COD because they did the same thing COD is doing but backwards, where they went back in time. And from what I've heard, it is a fucking skin pack. There is some different stuff, but it is the tanks are crappier because tanks were crappier back then.
Right.
And I like the visuals. I like how that looks. The Great War looks cool. But there's nothing gameplay-wise in it that is a revelation.
Right. No, I get it.
It's not even we're still fatigued from having all the World War II games.
No.
Because that hasn't happened for a while.
Uh-huh.
I think people just wanted some excuse to say rip COD. I don't think they give a shit that Battlefield isn't actually any different. And I think both of them need to rest in peace at some point.
Yeah. I agree with that.
It's not a Sony versus Microsoft thing. Well, it basically is, where they're basically the same thing, but people like one more than the other. Battlefield, and there are some differences, but they're both going through the motions super hard.
Yeah, I agree.
It could have easily been Battlefield 5. Also, the name is dumb.
Yeah.
Dumb.
The name
I called it Battle 1 twice.
Battle 1.
That's probably some developer
Mm-hmm.
we don't want to say Battlefield. They don't want to say Master Chief every time when they're talking about Halo. It's talking about Chief.
Yeah.
Yo, he's Chief. But yeah, I'm not really excited about much EA had to show. It's weird because it's I don't care about any other stuff, and then fucking Titanfall, dude. Yeah. The Star Wars game. could be cool, but we don't know much about it.
Yeah,
Really Dead Space HD.
What we know is that it's Amy Hennig, it's part of the expanded universe, and that Visceral is doing.
Expanded universe.
Yeah, part of the new expanded universe.
All that stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's what I meant. The expanded universe now has been gutted, but we haven't had an expanded universe game since Republic Commando.
What about like Force Unleashed? Too?
Those were not expanded universe games.
Okay.
Because at the end of one, you either kill Darth Vader or you kill Darth Sidious.
Yeah, those are pretty important things.
Yeah.
So I can see why that wouldn't be expanded universe. That is expanding on the main universe stuff.
Right. It's alternate universe.
Expanded universe would be literally expand like out there.
Yeah.
This is a different place, different characters.
Same.
Still some relation.
Yep.
And you will hear Darth Vader's name, or you will hear people you know.
Uh-huh.
You might even see them, but they are not the spotlight.
I mean, in some of them they can be, but yeah, I mean, that's what I'm most excited about for this Star Wars game.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how much of Amy Hennig, or I don't know how much of Uncharted you can contribute or attribute to Amy Hennig. I really don't know enough about her.
Gotcha. I mean, all of Uncharted 2 and 3.
Is she like the central writer?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought she would be, because otherwise people wouldn't give her name that much weight.
No.
Yo, third-person game that looks like 1313. And it's written by lady who writes third-person action-adventure games.
I'm sorry, she wrote all 3 Uncharted. She contributed to Jak and Daxter.
Nice. Well, those games have a rich fiction.
Yep.
Yeah, that game could be cool. We barely know anything about it, but it looks like Battlefront.
She also helped with Legacy of Kain, wrote Soul Reaver 2.
Wow. Man.
Yeah. So.
Storied history.
Yeah, for sure.
Writing stories.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to see if they will do anything other than ultra-realistic, high-definition graphics for any of the Star Wars games. If they will have any interesting art styles, like, say, the Clone Wars cartoons, or just, like,
or Rebels.
Any other art style, other than super pretty. I'm fine with it. It looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's much different from Battlefield 1.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it is just a different place, or it's a weird setting, but it looks identical.
Yeah.
But EA doesn't seem like they give half of a shit about art styles.
No.
Other than just throwing money at it.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of art styles and adventure games, Zelda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No real conference, but a shit ton of gameplay.
Yeah, the Zelda conference. I guess I wrote Nintendo down. I don't know what that is. I just know Zelda. Mm-hmm. Zelda was there. I don't know where Nintendo was.
Yeah.
Or somewhere.
Zelda was pretty much was their main focus in their Treehouse Live event.
Yeah, I only watched like.
And it was like 8 hours worth of content.
Uh huh. It was the hour that they had the game's director.
Mm-hmm.
What's his name? Do you remember?
No, I'm terrible with names.
I know he had his translator there and everything. So
that was what drove me nuts about the Treehouse stuff. That I just couldn't sit through it.
They showed you the trailer. That it was like an hour of fucking Pokemon.
Yeah.
They knew what to do. I watched that hour of Pokemon.
Well, I mean, I'm excited about Pokemon, so I did too.
I don't have any of their consoles right now, so.
Gotcha.
Did they announce anything about the NX? Do we know anything more about it?
No.
When is that coming out? Is that even... What?
March.
Zelda,
I mean,
have they mentioned... They talked about Zelda all the time. Did they mention what the difference between the NX and the Wii U versions
Nope.
are? They announced it's on both.
Yeah.
And it was super weird. Go back to the Ubisoft conference. The beginning of the conference was the Just Dance dance routine.
And they're like, oh, and this will be a launch title on NX.
What the fucking NX is? How is this on it?
So we have
Actually gameplay footage, this live action thing.
we have
This NX?
we know we have 2 games coming to NX: Just Dance
And so
and Zelda, the
2 games
Breath
I
of the
needed
Wild.
to know were on NX.
Yeah. I'm super stoked about the new Zelda. I mean, those new amiibos look great. We've been. I did a
The whole
E3
game
impressions
looks great.
video
Like, it
with
looks gorgeous.
Alex O'Neill of Irrational Passions, and he's just calling it. He's calling it the Zelditcher, like the
Okay,
Witcher.
yeah, I can see Witcher. Yeah.
I've been calling it Zelda Scrolls.
Okay, it's pretty good.
I
I don't have one for Metal Gear. Metal Gear Zelda, I guess.
Yeah, I mean it looks like it's going to be a fantastic game, and I'm excited to see what Nintendo brings to the table on that.
Yeah, it seems like they are doing stuff.
Mhm.
It is not Zelda.
Right.
Like, it is in that you look at it and you're like, that's a Zelda game. But then it has mechanics and RPG elements
Right.
and cosmetic upgrades. Just the parts in the trailer where he's wearing different clothes
Mm-hmm.
are super cool.
Yeah.
Because that means you're going to see your character progression on your character.
Yeah, it's
And
going to be really cool.
It's not just sword and then sub weapons.
Mm-hmm.
It is spear, axes, and they might not control differently or anything.
Right.
They probably have different ranges slightly and different like speeds and durabilities, which is interesting.
Like, this is full-blown RPG.
You straight up dive into the water like in Witcher.
Speaking of Zelda, my Wii U just started yelling at me about something.
It's like, hey, NX news.
Yep.
Hey, turns out I'm the NX the whole time. The Wii U's been the NX.
Yep. Okay. Let's move on
Yeah.
to what everyone wants to know.
I like the art style.
Yeah, the art style looks...
It looks Wind Waker light, with like the heavier shading on stuff, shadows, especially the effects of like just that shot of him sleeping in the pool of water with the rune kind of glowing behind. It looks beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. All right, so to wrap things up, most anticipated game.
I don't think it should count, but probably Persona 5.
It doesn't count. Has to be something that was shown in the conferences.
I didn't think so. I didn't get to talk about God of War much and how excited I am for that.
That game looks fantastic.
Speaking of like them being not afraid to change stuff, Jesus Christ, God of War.
Mm-hmm.
One, like every level of that game seems like it is completely uprooted, and they are going to make a different game. Kratos is going to be a character.
Yeah, exactly.
He's going to have emotions other than rage. And the fact that they are calling back to, like, they're not, it's not a reboot, even though it doesn't have a number.
Right.
That is Kratos. He has killed all of the gods in this timeline, and he has nothing left to really do. He got his revenge, but it's still, like, he still feels awful.
I didn't think this was actually Kratos. I thought it was a descendant of Kratos.
No, it's Kratos ass Kratos, dude.
Okay.
Yeah, it was one of the developer interviews. One of the ones I listened to because that game looks neat. Like, that is actually Kratos. I guess the thing is he had a kid at some point. I'm guessing when he was in Greece as a god, he had a kid with a Norse lady or wherever that is. And then had a son, and then after killing the gods, just walked the earth. Because he's a demigod, he won't die. He won't die from natural causes, at least. So he just walked, because he still has Spartan Rage. When they had the demo, it was still Spartan Rage. It wasn't a new thing.
Yeah. Okay. You're right. I was mistaken.
Did you see the part where the kid first shoots the deer?
Yeah.
In the top left of the screen, there's a rage meter filling.
Yep.
When he gets mad at the kid. That is a really dumb thing, but it's a dumb thing I can get behind because it's awesome.
Uh-huh.
Because when you think of a rage meter, being able to visually see your character's emotions in the way that they would apply in battle, outside of battle, that's neat. And I just like seeing Kratos in a way... Like he still talks and carries himself like Kratos.
Mm-hmm.
But he is a man who has completed his mission. Very Metal Gear Solid-ish kind of vibes here.
Mm-hmm. Everything you're just comparing to Metal Gear Solid.
I love it. It's so good. We didn't talk about Death Stranding either. Damn.
This is why I didn't want you to talk about anything before the freaking show, Recruit.
So good. So good. Everything's good. E3. This is still general impressions. You don't even know what's next.
So, I mean, here's the thing I want to hear you say about Death Stranding. Because both Mike and Sam think that game is a lot closer to coming out than it is. I was saying
like 6 months.
Q4
I think
2019 is what I was saying.
I'd say 2018, 2019. And I hope he releases a freaking trailer music video every E3 until then. Because I will just watch that on loop until the next one. That trailer is awesome. It is an art piece of, like... You want to say any video game trailer is an art piece. That's an art piece.
Yeah.
It is oh, man. But, just... He does a really good job of mixing, like, spiritual, supernatural, and mechanical, futuristic stuff together.
Yeah.
I'm glad Norman Reedus is still in it, because that shows that dude is into this.
Yeah.
He is receptive to Kojima's ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And he is going to... he is, like what you're saying with Laura Bailey in Gears of War. This dude is not just going through the motions.
Mm-hmm.
He is actively participating.
Yep.
Did you see those behind-the-screens pictures of him holding the little baby?
Mm-hmm.
It's great. And I like that they're not afraid to show something weird and avant-garde, kind of, on television, on their stream, to everyone. And I like the name Death Stranding. I think basically all the hype comes down to this being a Kojima game.
Mm-hmm.
Because they know he can pull off this kind of, like, crazy but really interesting. It's not crazy without a vision.
Right.
There's a creative vision behind all this stuff. And just the visual of him standing there and then the 5, like, god things, which I think, you know his logo?
Yeah.
Helmet? I think those are those.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's been talking about, that thing is called Ludens.
Mm-hmm.
It's very Metal Gear Phantom Pain, the big robot.
Right.
Like, he straight up just feels like he's carrying out what he wanted to do with that into his next stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Those are probably just boss fights.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's they stole the baby or if the baby... he's got like a C-section scar too.
Yeah.
You would never see that in any other video game.
No.
Probably not even a movie.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a C-section scar from a baby, and they just treat it as matter of fact.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, dude has a baby.
Well, I mean that's his style though. It's not. I didn't expect anything different.
Serious about what he's showing you.
Mm-hmm.
There is when there is tongue-in-cheek stuff, it's like in the codec conversations.
Right.
Even when in other games that would be tongue-in-cheek and like laughed off, or the kind of stuff he writes, but he makes it work. And the way he does the logo treatment of like the branching off under like the liquid kind of seems like it's kind of calling back to Silent Hills and like how horror logos usually look.
Yeah, for sure.
Did we even talk about Resident Evil 7 other than VR?
No, but I need to cut this conversation short because we've been going for almost an hour and a half, and I have another impressions video that I'm doing in now.
Okay.
So
going back to your previous question, most excited game,
most anticipated game from E3.
Resident Evil 7 probably.
Really?
I'm going through Resident Evil 6 right now.
Mm-hmm.
That game doesn't seem as bad as I remembered. or as people think it is. I don't want Resident Evil 7 to be anything like that, and I don't think I have to worry. I just hope it is good at doing what it's trying to do.
Right. I do agree.
At least in the demo space, they are trying to follow in PT's footsteps.
Mm-hmm.
PT never became anything other than that. So they can't copy anymore. I say copy with love.
Right.
But I hope that is a good game. It makes me uncomfortable that they are even calling it 7.
I mean,
I don't want it to have any connection to the other stuff because it is fruit from a poisonous tree.
I lost your video.
Alright, it's fruit from a poisonous tree.
Yeah.
In that all the main story of those games is action. It is not horror anymore. So if it has any connection to that, that means this horror thing is in a world where that stuff happened. And that kind of belittles everything that's going to happen in this game.
But I mean, you also have to look at it from the marketing standpoint. Any game that has a number following it is automatically going to do better.
That's the entire reason behind it.
Yeah,
I think it might be.
I'm fairly certain it is.
Because they kind of do the God of War not having a number thing by having the subtitle be the name of the game in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
And then vice versa for Japan and here.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically their way of getting best of both worlds, saying, yo, this is a clean slate. This is Biohazard. This is Resident Evil. It is the 7th one, but it is the first of our new going the tone. And this is separate from the RE2 remake, which I was thinking we might have seen here, but we didn't. Not yet.
There are too many new things to show that.
Yeah. I'm fine with it being in first person. I'm interested in it being VR. I think they could get away with doing a more PT thing because, like Silent Hill, there is a puzzle basis to those games that you could do in first person that it wouldn't really matter.
Yeah.
I hope it's not like Outlast, though. Outlast was a lot of... I've heard in the demo that there's basically no jump scares. It is all atmosphere, tone... Stuff is just happening and it's supposed to creep you out naturally.
Right.
That was kind of my issue with PT, even though everyone gushed over it. It had jump scares.
Yeah.
But they were so effective because the atmosphere and everything looked beautiful.
Right.
Beautiful. Disgusting. But...
No, I know what you mean.
RE7 definitely most excited for. Especially it's coming out in January.
Yeah, so soon. So soon. All right, so thank you guys so much for joining us for another E3 Impressions video. Recruit, where can people find you on the internet, or where do you want people to find you, if you want people to find you?
Go tell me how I'm wrong and I suck at video games because I like Resident Evil 6 at Selfish Pancakes on Twitter and Mason Locke on YouTube's.
Awesome.
SONLOC.
I will put those two links in the description below. And of course, you guys can always find me at BRidiculous, that's BRIDDICKULOUS, and follow everything Nerdy Nights related at nerdy_nights, both of those on Twitter. Of course, all of our content can be found at www.nkrn.org. If you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to hit the subscribe button. If you're watching this on the website, go to the YouTube and hit the subscribe button. Just go to the YouTube.
Do it.
Guys, thank you again so much. Go out and defend the realm of the Nerdy Night, and remember, until next week, it's dangerous to go alone.
Bye-bye.